Arriving in St Petersburg, President Obama will find little support for military action against Syria. Within the G20 community gathered for this summit, he can only rely on just France and Turkey to back his plans for a limited strike against the Assad government. And his G20 host, Russian President Vladimir Putin, is not talking like a man who's ready to compromise with the United States over Syria.
I have watched the debates in Congress, and when they asked Secretary Kerry, is there Al-Qaeda in Syria, Kerry said, no, I say officially, they're not there. But the rebels known as al-Nusra, they're a unit of Al-Qaeda. Kerry and the others know this. I don't like seeing this. We communicate with them and assume they're decent people. But he lies openly, and he knows that he lies.
And on Wednesday, the Russian foreign minister said its expert findings show that the suspected chemical weapons used in the August 21st attack are similar to ones used by the same al-Nusra faction. Before President Obama's arrival here, President Putin went straight into bilateral talks with the Chinese President Xi Jinping. China and Russia are both members of the UN Security Council and have been unrelenting in their opposition to resolutions calling for sanctions against the Assad government. The American president, stopping in Sweden on his way to the summit, spoke as if military action is an inevitability.
The international community's credibility is on the line. And America and Congress's credibility is on the line because we give lip service to the notion that these international norms are important.
This is, of course, an economic summit, so Syria is not even on the agenda here at St Petersburg. But, of course, it will be the subject that will dominate this gathering. The relations between President Obama and President Putin are said to be awkward and uncomfortable. In fact, the seating plan at the conference has been tweaked to allow a little more space between the two leaders. But it's believed, despite all this, they will meet on the sidelines at some stage during this two-day summit. It does look like an impossible task facing delegates at this summit here in St Petersburg. Leaders have just a day and a half to try and find a consensus and a way forward that has proved so elusive in more than 2 years of fighting in Syria. Peter Sharp, Al Jazeera, St Petersburg.